Losing someone we love is one of the most profound experiences we can face. It is often a moment that changes everything, leaving us feeling lost, vulnerable, and unsure. In these moments, we may not know how to move forward or how to make sense of the emotions that flood our hearts and minds. The journey through grief can be long and challenging, but it is also an opportunity for growth, healing, and finding a deeper connection to life and those around you. I end this video. We will walk through the stages of grief, explore common reactions, offer practical tips on how to cope. Most importantly, we will remind you that healing is possible, and that even in the deepest moments of loss, there is hope for recovery. Grief is unique to each individual, but you do not have to walk this path alone. If you're struggling with loss, or if you're supporting someone who is grieving, this video aims to provide comfort, guidance, and reassurance during this difficult time. Grief is one of the most complex human emotions. It doesn't come with a set of rules, and it doesn't operate on a timeline. It can arise unexpectedly sometimes when we think we started healing. And it can take many forms: sadness, guilt, anger, frustration, or even numbness. These emotions are all valid, and there is no right way to grieve. Psychologist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's famous model of the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance has provided a helpful framework for understanding how grief can unfold. However, these stages are not linear, nor are they experienced by everyone in the same way. You might feel a wave of anger one day, then deep sadness the next, only to feel moments of joy in the weeks that follow. This is normal.
Grief can also take on physical symptoms: fatigue, headaches, stomach aches, sleep disturbances. Your body is processing an emotional experience, and it's important to listen to its signals and give yourself grace during this time. Some people may experience a sense of disbelief.
As if the loss hasn't quite sunk in for others, the reality may be felt immediately, leading to a flood of emotions. No matter where you find yourself in your grief journey, remember that each emotion you experience is part of the healing process. Loss can affect you in many different ways. While grief is often associated with sadness, it's important to understand that it encompasses a wide range of emotions. Each reaction is valid, part of the healing process. Immediately following a loss, many people feel numb. This numbness can feel like a protective mechanism, a way of shielding the mind and heart from the overwhelming emotions that are to come. This can make it difficult to process the news at first, as if it hasn't truly registered yet. This period of numbness can last from a few hours to weeks or even longer, depending on the person.
In the days, weeks, and months following a loss, feelings of guilt may surface. You may wonder if there was more you could have done,
or if you could have prevented the loss in some way. These feelings of guilt are often a natural response to the sense of helplessness that comes with losing someone. It's essential to acknowledge these feelings and remind yourself that you did your best given the circumstances. It's also important to allow yourself to forgive yourself. Grief is not something you can control. Anger is another common reaction. You may feel angry at the person who has passed for leaving you, angry at the universe, or angry at yourself for not being able to change the outcome. This anger may even be directed at the person who passed, though it's important to remember that this anger comes from a place of love and loss. For some, feelings of relief may arise. While this might seem strange to some, if your loved one was suffering from a long illness, you might feel relief that their pain has ended. This can sometimes lead to feelings of guilt. But remember, relief does not mean you love them any less. It is simply part of the emotional complexity of grief. One of the most important things you can do is talk. Share your thoughts with a trusted friend, family member, or professional. You don't have to fix anything. You just need to be heard. Talking about your loss can create a space where your grief validated and acknowledged. You don't have to carry the weight of it alone, Doc. It's tempting to push away emotions that feel too difficult to bear. But allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel is a crucial part of healing. Don't judge yourself for feeling sad, angry, or even relieved. Give yourself permission to experience these emotions and understand that they are not permanent. Emotions are waves. They may seem overwhelming in the moment, but they will pass. It can be easy to neglect your own needs while grieving, but taking care of your body is an important part of the healing process. Eat well, drink plenty of water, and get enough rest. Gentle exercise like walking or yoga can also help reduce the stress associated with grief. Rituals can provide comfort and help keep the memory of your loved one alive. Whether it's lighting a candle, planting a tree, or simply taking a moment each day to reflect on a cherished memory, these rituals can serve as a meaningful way to continue your connection with the person you've lost. Journaling is a powerful tool for processing grief. Write about your feelings, your memories, your fears, and your hopes. It can help to get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. It's also a way to track your progress as you heal up. There's power in connecting with others who understand what you're going through. A support group for grief provides a safe space where you can share your story and hear others' experiences. Knowing that you are not alone in your grief can provide comfort during this difficult time. Sometimes grief can feel overwhelming and it might be hard to cope on your own. Seeking help from a counselor or therapist who specializes in grief can be incredibly helpful. They can guide you through difficult emotions and help you find healthy coping strategies. Grief is often perceived as something that must be fixed, a burden that should be eliminated. But healing from loss doesn't mean moving on or getting over it. Healing means integrating the pain into your life and finding a way to live fully. Despite the absence of your loved one, it's about learning to navigate a life that is different, but still meaningful. For many, the first stages of grief are all-consuming, with the pain feeling as though it might last forever. But over time, the intensity of the pain starts to fade, and you begin to find a rhythm in life again. The moments of sadness still come, and certain triggers might bring those feelings back, but you will learn how to balance the grief with the joy of living. One day you might realize that you've gone a full day without thinking about the loss. Or you might find yourself smiling at a happy memory you shared. These moments are a sign of your healing process, a reminder that your heart is learning to carry both the love you have for the one you've lost and the ability to continue living your own life. Healing also brings change, and it may lead to a new perspective on life. You may discover new passions and hobbies, or even a desire to help others who are experiencing similar pain. Many people who grieve deeply find that they develop a stronger sense of empathy and compassion for others who are suffering. As you grow through this pain, you might also find a shift in your priorities. You may realize that life is shorter and more fragile than you once thought, leading you to appreciate your relationships more deeply, pursue new dreams, or live more intentionally. Part of healing involves building a new relationship with your grief. It no longer defines you, but it becomes a part of your life story. Your loved one's memory stays with you, not as a shadow over your life, but as a light that shines in your heart, guiding you through the ups and downs of the loss. Many people experience a profound shift in how they view the world. The pain of grief can eventually lead to a search for meaning, an attempt to understand why this loss occurred and how to carry on in a way that honors the life of the one you've lost. Finding meaning doesn't mean you'll have all the answers to life's big questions, but it can provide a sense of purpose in the face of tragedy. For some, the search for meaning involves engaging in charitable work, raising awareness for causes that their loved one cared about, or dedicating their time to helping others who are suffering. This act of giving can be incredibly healing. It allows you to transform pain into purpose. Another way people find meaning after loss is through creative expression. This could be painting, writing, photography, or music. The act of creating something new can be cathartic,
helping you process complex emotions while simultaneously allowing you to celebrate the love you shared with the person who's gone. Some people also create lasting tributes and memorial foundation.
or even just a dedicated space in their home where they keep memories alive. These acts help you feel that your loved one's legacy is still present, that their impact continues to resonate in the world. It's important to remember that finding meaning doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it requires patience. Don't rush this process. Allow yourself to heal at your own pace, and if helping others or honoring your loved one feels right, know that it's a beautiful way to move forward. While grief is a natural process, sometimes it can feel like it's too much to handle. It may start to affect your daily life, your ability to work, to care for yourself, or to maintain relationships. It can feel like an unending wave of sadness or even physical pain that doesn't subside. If grief is overwhelming, or if you feel like you're losing control, it might be time to reach out for professional support. There's no shame in seeking help. Grief counseling or therapy can provide you with the tools to cope, to understand your emotions, to find ways to manage the intensity of your grief. The grief counselor is trained to help you explore your emotions and to guide you through difficult times.
They can also help you understand if you're dealing with complicated or prolonged grief, which may require more intensive support. Support groups can also be an incredible resource. These groups offer a community of people who truly understand the pain you're going through.
Being in a room with others who are experiencing grief can help you feel less isolated and provide validation for your emotions. If you're feeling overwhelmed by grief, consider reaching out to a therapist, joining a support group, or finding a trusted friend or family member who can guide you through the process. For some, grief may lead them to a deeper spiritual or religious reflection. If you hold religious or spiritual beliefs, your faith can offer comfort during times of sorrow. Many people find solace in prayer, meditation, or attending religious services. Their faith can provide meaning, hope, and a sense of connection to something greater than themselves. Grief may also prompt questions about the nature of life, death, and the afterlife. While these questions can be challenging and often remain unanswered, faith can help provide peace in knowing that there is a larger plan. Even if we don't fully understand it. For others, faith may evolve through grief. It may lead you to seek new spiritual practices, explore different philosophies, or find new ways of understanding your connection to the world and to the loved one you lost. As you continue your journey through grief, remember that healing is a lifelong process. It's okay to take your time. There will be moments of pain, but there will also be moments of peace. There will be times when you feel as if the weight of grief is too heavy. But there will also be moments when you feel the love you shared with your loved one sustaining you. Healing doesn't mean you forget your loved one, it means you learn how to live with their memory. Integrating it into your life in a way that brings strength rather than sorrow. You carry the love you shared with them in your heart, and over time that love can become a source of strength, joy, and peace. You are not alone. Your grief is valid, and your path to healing is unique. Take it one day at a time and allow yourself the space to feel, to heal, and to grow. The love you've lost will always remain with you, and the love you still have for yourself and for others will continue to guide you toward a brighter future. Take care of yourself. One step at a time, one day at a time. You are loved.